All right, flogs and flogettes, let's get into it. It's your boy BD3 coming at you from down under in Australia for another drunken rant about the NBA or basketball in general, all right? Now, if you haven't already, wherever the fucking subscribe button is, fucking give it a bang, you little fuckers, all right? I really would love the support, and I'll keep pumping out as much fucking basketball drunk content as I can for as long as I can. But today, we are going to talk about, is Team USA in trouble at the Olympics? Now, all the fucking journalists, your Chris Broussards and your Nick Wrights and all those guys, right? They're talking about how it's a lock. USA are winning gold. There's no issue at all. They're going to demolish it because they have, they're just too good, right? I'm not so sure though, right? Because what I see when I look at Team USA is a bunch of guys that all are the man on their team that now have to learn how to play together as part of a system. And I think that they are going to really struggle, and we're gonna dive into that a bit here today. So please, grab it, get a drink in you, sit down, and let's get fucking stuck in. Let's go. Alrighty, whew, we're ready. First of all, the main problem I have with this team, right, is it's not constructed like a basketball team. It's constructed like an all-star squad. And that's a lot of problems right there, right? Because most of the players on this team are used to being the man. They're used to being the guy. They're used to being him, and that means they get to do whatever they want, essentially. The offense runs through them. They get to make the calls. They run the plays. They get the ball in their hands all the time. They get to take the most shots, and that's why they're the star, right? But then when you come to Team USA and you are surrounded by people exactly like that from other teams in one team, it doesn't build team chemistry, right? And I remember, I think it was the last Olympics, right? Australia did quite well, I thought. One of the things that they spoke about, a lot of these European teams and the Australian team and stuff, is that these guys had been playing together for years. They had been a team for years, playing together. They'd learned to work together as a team, and that's why they were being so successful. Whereas the US, they just threw together a bunch of guys home for the best, right? And they're doing that again. What they've done this year is they've thrown together a bunch of the best guys from the NBA. So, your big name players like your LeBrons and your Currys and things like that, they're all in the team. But that doesn't change the fact that all of them need to have the ball, pretty much. They all have to have the ball to do what they do best, which is run the offense, right? And if they don't have the ball, they're not used to just doing nothing, right? Apart from Steph Curry, I'll make a notable exception for Steph Curry because he moves off the ball better than almost any star I've ever seen in the history of the game. But that's where I think the problem's going to come in for Team USA. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run through their roster, right? I'm just going to have a bit of a look at it, right? So I've got my little fucking phone tracker up here. Alrighty. So we've got Bam Adebayo. Now, he's a great defensive power forward, but he is also the man on his team, right? Like, he is pretty much the guy. I think you've got, fucking Butler or whatever is on there as well, but he doesn't play half the time right now. Butler's hardly playing. He's probably not going to be on the team next year. Bam's the guy they maxed out. The offense still runs through him. He averages like 6 assists a game. He still gets shots whenever he wants it, right? But he is probably the best case scenario of a star, right? That he can play off the ball. He can do the gritty work like the defensive stuff, right? Devin Booker, star on Phoenix, right? Ball's in his hands all the time. It has been for a decade, right? He can take as many shots as he wants. He doesn't have to play defense. He just gets to fucking do whatever he wants, right? That's his position, right? Cool. Steph Curry. Now, Steph is used to having the ball in his hands. He's used to having the offense revolve around him, but he plays a lot more off-ball thanks to Draymond. So he is best case scenario, I think, right? He can move off the ball, hit threes. He's going to be playing at the international three-point line. It's like a foul shot for him. But again, a guy that wants to have the ball, all right? Anthony Davis. Again, he is the guy. Now, look, he's next to LeBron. We know that. But the whole point of it is he's still the guy. When LeBron's not on the court, he's the man. Even when LeBron is on the court, LeBron likes to run some of that offense through him, right? So he's used to being that guy. He doesn't want to play center, all that crap. He's still the man. Kevin Durant is the man. He does whatever he wants because he's fucking KD, right? He'll drop 50 on you in any night. But that means he wants to post up and play his little mid-range game, right? He needs the ball to do that. Anthony Edwards is the man on Minnesota. We learned that this year. He's taken a jump. It's his team now. He wants the ball in his hands. He wants to drive. He wants to get to the foul line. Boom. Joel Embiid, perfect example. The entire offense has to run through Joel Embiid. Otherwise, what are you doing here, right? James Harden is there and he'll hit some step-back threes and things like that, but the entire offense runs through Joel. Tyrese Halliburton, he manages Pacers' entire offense, right? And they have one of the best offenses in the league. It all runs through Tyrese. Drew Holiday, finally, someone that is just a team player, right? Someone that'll do the dirty work, do the little things that not everyone wants to do. And that's where I think we needed more, the Team USA needed more players like Drew Holiday. He's a star. LeBron James is fucking LeBron James, right? The world revolves, he is the sun that the planets revolve around, right? LeBron does whatever he wants, right? Jason Tatum, he's the guy for fucking Boston, right? He goes fucking ISO ball and turns it over half the time, but it's all ISO all the time through Tatum, right? Derek White was subbed in, or he came in because fucking Kawhi Leonard couldn't play or didn't want to play, whatever the fuck, however you want to look at it. But, again, Kawhi Leonard was the guy in his team. Kawhi Leonard gets to do whatever he wants in his team. Luckily, he's gone. Derek White comes in, another great guy that can do the dirty work for you, right? So that team is almost entirely built on superstars that need the ball in their hands. And what we've learned, and what has been very obvious with Joel Embiid in particular, is when you just have to play as part of a system and you just have to do your role on the team, you can struggle, all right? And in the same way, and I said this in one of the shorts the other day, in the same way that some players can't be stars but excel as role players where they have a specific role, it goes the other way. There are players who cannot be role players and only excel when the offense and the team is built around them, right? So that's where I think the problem's going to come in. Joel Embiid's really struggling. LeBron's struggling, I think, you know. Like a lot of these players are really struggling to find their role in the team, having to screen off ball, having to just play defense for 6 or 8 minutes before you get a touch. These things get to players, right? And I think they're going to have some issues. So when they come up against these teams that are built more like traditional basketball teams, they're going to struggle. I mean, look, they belted Australia in the first half of the other game, but then Australia came back, then they lost by 8, right? And these teams like your Serbias and things like that, and your Spains, and your Canadas, right, that are built like teams where everyone has a role and they all play their role, I think are really going to give them trouble. So, hot take from this drunken bastard, right? I'm calling it right now. Not only do the US not win the gold medal, they don't even make the finals. That's my call. I think they end up in the bronze medal game, and I think they win that and they bring home the bronze. I think it will be Canada and let's say fucking Serbia. Let's say Canada and Serbia in the finals. That's my call, and Canada win it. SGA is my guy. He's a superstar. But that's my hot tip, my hot take, is that US don't even make the finals. They get the bronze medal. And that is another drunken rant from this Aussie. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, like, subscribe, all that bullshit. Rah, 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 who gives a fuck? And I will be back with another swear-filled fucking rant about the NBA in the coming days. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Team USA and where you think they will finish, if they podium or if they don't make it at all. I'd love to hear about it. And don't forget, guys, to always go fuck yourselves.